So like when COVID hit, I'm sorry, I'm hoping you're following me. I don't know where I'm going today. So just follow along. We're going on a journey, folks. I don't know where we're going. Okay. So during COVID, um, I I don't know if you know my story about what happened at COVID time. So it was March. Faison saying, "Welcome to my life, folks." So it was. I had this idea that I really wanted office space outside my home. So when my kids were little, I had a home office, and then when as my daughter went to kindergarten, and clients kept coming to the house, and I'm like, I think I have enough clients now, and I have enough I'm generating enough that I'd like to have a space outside of my home. And we worked with one of my friends who's a realtor, and she showed us a couple of places, and then we found the perfect spot, and it was a room in. So there was an accountant, and he had a bunch of he had a whole like office area, right? And so he had all these different rooms. And so there was like a realtor and a lawyer and an accountant, and different people were renting the different rooms. And so I asked if I could rent one room, and I did. And it was like incredible. It was such an incredible experience. And I got to get dressed up. I got to wear shoes to work after a really, really, really long time because I'd been working out of my house for so long. This was in 2018. And I was seeing clients at work. Now, mind you, I was also struggling with like debilitating depressive episode. So a lot of it was a mask. I was masking for work, going to work, doing the thing, and then coming home and crashing. And it was hard. But I was doing it. And I got this office space and I loved it. And my clients would meet me there. And I was going in, I think, 2 or 3 days a week. I'd go in and see my clients, and then it was getting busier and busier, and to the point where I didn't have any room left in my calendar to accommodate all my clients. So then I thought, okay, let's bring on more practitioners, like another therapist. So I was supervising some therapists at the time, and then they came under Dragonfly. They came under Dr. Syra, and then I got a few more spaces in that place. And so we were now we were Dragonfly Wellness Center. Like it was a space, and I had therapists, and we had rooms, and we set it all up, and we were paying rent. And then we were going to do our big grand opening. And I remember it was February, I think. And March 1st, we kind of officially got the keys and gave all the practitioners their keys, and they were all therapists. And I remember my friend Erin, on March 1st, I had asked her to bake some like mini cupcakes, and maybe we'd have a big launch party. Now, 3 years prior to that, I'd done the same thing with a business partner, and we had a big launch party, and then like all these people came. There's a huge open house, and my friend had baked the cupcakes. And then 2 weeks later, the whole thing blew up. We found out that the place was being rented like illegally, and everybody had to get out. And my business partner just like flew the coop and like took all the money, and it was like all done. And it was terrible. And so it took me 3 years to come out of that and try this again. And so on March 1st, when we got the keys and everything was ready, my friend Erin said, why don't we wait till April 1st and do the launch on April 1st? She's like, something's just telling me that we should wait to do the big cupcake and the big like open house and grand opening and whatever. I was like, okay, this is March 1st of 2020. And you know what happened on March 17th of 2020? Canada shut down. We all went under lockdown. Nobody could go anywhere. And so we had no access to these offices for months and months and months. And so I continued to pay rent for 3 office spaces, maybe 4. Yeah, we had 4 offices, and nobody's going in and nobody's coming out and everything. So that moment was a shattering of my vision and my dream. And it was so painful, like literally March 1st. And then 17 days later, everything shuts down. We can't even get in. But I remember feeling that like, oh, well, I thought, oh, this will go on for a couple of weeks and then we'll get in April. Maybe we'll still do our April 1st launch. Yeah, that didn't happen. So the reason I'm telling this story is when that whole thing happened, and it was all this moment, right? Now I'm stuck at home. I don't even have a home office because I've like moved all my furniture, and clients can't come see me because of the lockdown. And I got this really clear guidance that said, get online, make videos, do comfort calls. And so I offered to anybody that wanted these free half an hour comfort calls. I'm like, anybody who wants to, client of mine or not, doesn't matter. I will talk to you for half an hour, and I will help you get through this pandemic. And I did that, Faizan, I don't know how long. I think I did that till the summer, March, April, May, June. Yeah, I think I did that about 4 to 5 months, just free, just a year. I did comfort calls. Okay, I did that for a year. I did start seeing clients though, like for paid, but I know I had like no income at all for at least 4 months. I was just doing the comfort calls and making YouTube videos because I'm like, well, maybe people are watching, watching YouTube videos and they need comfort and they need to make sense of this chaotic time. And so I was like, putting out these, like, I think twice a week we were doing a video. Once Faizan and I had a live podcast that we were doing that was free. And so we were just giving, like, I'm like, if I can help people through this time, I'm just going to help people. And it was so clear to me, like, this is what I need to do. So for the 4 months we did that. And then I started getting some of my clients coming back to have proper sessions, and we switched to online. And then I just went online, 100% online. And then because I was 100% online and COVID was happening and continuing to happen and never stopped, it kept going, we decided that, hey, wait a minute, we don't need this office space. We could live anywhere. And it was because of that switch, that turn, that we made it out to Blind Bay. Because that couldn't have happened unless all of those other things had happened. So we gave up the office space in August and we moved to Blind Bay. I'm still paying rent at that office space. And then moved to Blind Bay. And then I was online. And then I built this thriving online practice for a year. And then my daughter started going to the outdoor school, so we were driving into town. So then I thought maybe I should get an office in downtown or in Salmon Arm. That's how I met Texas. That's how I got the office space. So at that time, during that COVID hit, when my career basically came to a standstill, I was still given guidance. I was still given a path of like, okay, now you need to do this. And there was no income attached to that path. I don't know how we did it. But there was no money coming in at that time. I even, like, everything I did was voluntary. I gave like workshops online and talks, and it was all, Faizan's laughing, he's saying lots of expenses. But at that time when I was given that direction, it was like, this is what I'm guided to do. And somehow we were looked after, right? Somehow, I don't really know. I can't, if you were to look at our bank account, I don't know how we did that for months and months, but we did. And this moment to me feels like that moment. So it's uncomfortable because everything that I knew, every technique and strategy that my human came up with to keep us afloat financially and emotionally, was shattered. But something new was given. It's like, just do this. And because I did that, I have like 295 videos on YouTube that you can watch. Because I was like all about the videos. I was like doing all that, getting really comfortable in that space, right? And because of all those free things that I gave away, I started getting calls from like the school district, from businesses saying, hey, can you do an online Zoom training for our whoever? So I'm sitting here in Blind Bay in my basement suite, doing these like really big productions from like literally with a white wall behind me and just talking to a screen and getting paid for that. But that outcome didn't come until 2 years after the shattering. So why am I sharing this? Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody out there needs to hear this. Maybe I'm sharing this because to let you know where we're at in the community, like where this community is evolving to. Maybe I'm sharing this because Texas asked me to be really freaking real, and so That's what I'm doing. I'm being really freaking real right now. Um, and then my piece, my really the piece that I really want to communicate is that to give ourselves time for the integration. So this big opening happens, this big breakthrough, this big vision, and then to be able to sit in the discomfort and hold it and not have to get busy and not shut it down and not get let our mind, our thinking brain get a hold of it and start like manipulating it to make it more manageable, but just to be willing to sit in the discomfort of the bigness of what I'm being asked to do. And I deeply believe, I was woken up in the middle of the night with this belief, with this like, so I'm going to share it here. We are never given more than we have the capacity for. Oh, that's a rhyme. That's a t-shirt, Danielle. T-shirt. We are never given more than what we have the capacity for. And that capacity is not just going to come from the human. It isn't, right? It's like we have to open up to receive. And what I'm seeing more and more is that the capacity is actually a collective project. It's a collective project that we're being asked to step into. For those who are here on this journey with us, you're being asked to step into this next phase with us. And some people will drift away and fall away, just like some people did when we transformed from that dragonfly wellness into the expansion project. There was like a pruning process in that. And there may be a similar pruning process over the next few weeks and months as we shift into this new thing. So just be aware that you'll either feel like, oh yeah, I'm called into this next thing and I'm actually being called to be part of the supporting team, or who knows what you're being called to, or yeah, that's just not for me anymore. And that's okay. You know, we release you with love, and there's no bad guys here. There's no bad parts.